People of YouTube, you may think that Google is the law here, but they are not. Professor Macabre is the law. Greetings and salutations. It is I, Professor Macabre, our YouTuber for the month of April. Yes, indeed. April's almost done, but as long as it's still going, my reign is still strong. So, I actually have to start getting on counting the numbers of the nominees for May. That video has gotten a lot of views, and it's gotten a whole bunch of votes. So I will most definitely have my work cut out for me. But this is day 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of Action April. Yes, Action April has been going on in this channel for a little bit, but also, if you want more Action April goodness, check out Half Cheetah Will Views channel. The Midnight Society that he hosts and I am a part of, a co-host if you will. Or I've been talking about action movies there as well, so you're getting more bang for your buck for Action April, so check that out. But what movie will we talk about for day 5 of Action April? Well, if you saw the title, or you saw the name of the video, or all the other things before you clicked play, well, you probably know that I'm going to talk about Dredd. I freaking love Judge Dredd, the character. He's a no-nonsense badass that takes no shit from anyone. Depending on how you look at it, you might see him as the villain, for he is enforcing a totalitarian reign upon the poor bastards of Mega City 1, but that freaking place is a hellhole. So the only way to keep any sort of order is for these judges to come out and police the citizens of Mega City 1. They are cop, judge, juries, and executioners all roll into one. My first exposure to Judge Dredd, the character, was of course through its original medium, comic books. Yes, indeed, Professor Macabre, back in his youth, was and you might even say it still is, a certified geek. He would watch his horror movies and other movies as well. He would collect his action figures and watch his cartoons, and of course partake in his comic books. Comic books, unfortunately, is not something that I have been able to maintain. Professor Macabre has unfortunately had to leave behind a number of his original hobbies to focus more narrowly on the main one, which is horror movies, and movies in general. But I still like to dabble in the geek media, and, watch your Marvel things, your DC things, and other stuff. But Judge Dredd was different. Again, he was a no-nonsense bastard that would kill people because they jaywalked, basically. So the comic book was pretty awesome, and we got the first Judge Dredd adaptation with Sylvester Stallone. And I'm not gonna lie, I heard that news, and I'm like, Sylvester Stallone, I'm a freaking huge fan of him. And he's gonna do Judge Dredd, and the costume looks pretty cool. I'm all on board. And then I saw the movie, and I was like, Rob Schneider's in that. Well, he was in Demolition Man, and Surf Ninjas, and Saturday Night Live. A big fan of Rob Schneider, but sure, why not? And then, Sylvester Stallone takes off the helmet, which is something that Judge Dredd does not do. He never removes his helmet. That's kind of his thing. So seeing the helmet remove, a lot of people say it's because of Stallone's ego. He didn't want to go the whole movie with the helmet on, and Judge Dredd doesn't really wear the costume that much. But it's an acquired taste. If you're a fan of Judge Dredd, well, this is an affront to all of that. It doesn't really follow that Judge Dredd character that much. I mean, he kind of does, but not wearing the helmet's kind of a thing. Judge Dredd's kind of like the Mandalorians. They don't remove their helmet because that is the way. So a lot of people hated that movie. I have a soft spot for it. because again, I like Judge Dredd, and I like Sylvester Stallone. Hell, I'm still on the lookout for Rhinestone with Sylvester Stallone and Dolly Parton, and by all accounts, that movie is hot garbage, but I have a soft spot for it. What can I say? But then many, many years passed by, and we got an amazing adaptation of Judge Dredd with Dredd, starring Karl Urban. And a lot of people were worried because they remembered the Sylvester Stallone one, but again, I saw the still shots, I saw the news, and I'm like, this looks promising. And Professor Macabre loves the weapon that Judge Dredd uses. Among many things, Professor Macabre likes to have props from movies. It's just a thing that I do. Professor Macabre also has dabbled in making his own props. I've made a Death Note book. I've made a Hocus Pocus Sanderson Sisters spell book. I've made the Necronomicon. And one really cool thing that I still own a couple of are Nerf guns. Nerf guns have a very cool aesthetic that I go for certain movies. And the main weapon from Judge Dredd is the Lawgiver. In the comic book, it's a really weird thing. It's like a gun, but it has a dial thing. Because the main attraction of the Lawgiver for Judge Dredd is that it has multiple ammo. You can shoot a whole bunch of things. It's voice activated. You're like, machine gun fire, and he's got single shot, incendiary, explosive grenade, napalm, and I freaking love it. The lightsaber, Hellboy's gun, and the Lawbringer are some of my favorite movie weapons. So with Nerf guns, I've been trying to get things similar to that. Unfortunately, not a lot of them come close, but close enough. Again, the original design of the Lawgiver on the comic books is this gun with a dial thing, but as the series has progressed, it's gotten a little bit more tactical, a little bit more realistic. The gun in the Stallone movie and the gun in Karl Urban's Dredd have this really cool look that I wish I was better at modding Nerf guns, and Lord help me, I was good at painting them. Honestly, I haven't tried my hand in painting. I've painted a few things here and there, but I'm not that good. But I wanted to showcase, since I'm talking about Dredd, a couple of blasters that I own that kind of look like the Lawgiver. The first one is this thing that you saw in the intro. I like it. I like the aesthetic. It's very, very cool. I wish I was good enough to paint blasters, but this is really cool. It has an internal mag, fits 6 Nerf darts, and I like the profile of this thing. It looks very beefy, very sci-fi-ish, and something that's very similar to the Lawgiver, in my opinion. Then we have this thing, which is launches discs called the Fuse Fire. The good thing about this one is that you put batteries in this, and this thing glows green. But again, much like that one, but a smaller size. Looks like it has the magazine that the one in Dredd has. Again, very handgunish, very big and biffy. Big fan. This is something that I would totally paint. It already has the LED lights, so it would be very easy to paint that up a bit and have it look like the Lawgiver. Specifically, again, the Stallone one or the one for Karl Urban's movie. This one's another beefy one, another one that launches disc. This one came out before the Fuse Fire, and this is the Vigilon. Even the name screams Judge Dredd. Another beefy handgun. And again, I wish I was good with electronics and paint jobs and all that, because I would love to put some LEDs, number counter here, maybe some red lights, and rock the Lawgiver. And the most modern one that I've bought, and all of these are bought from the flea market. Professor Macabre is not poor, but he's not swimming in money like Scrooge McDuck. Everything that I found and I'm showing, I bought at the flea market dirt cheap, which is why I have 4 of these things. But the most modern one that I bought is from the Rival line, which shoots little foam balls. And this, I think, was called the Chronos. And this is the profile that looks the most like the Lawgiver. Oh, the previous three do, but this one's a little bit more compact. I put this ridiculous scope here, which the Lawgiver doesn't have, but I kind of like how that looks too. And, yes, all these guns, I wish I could modify to look more like the Lawgiver, but this one is the one I think that comes the closest to the modern Lawgiver, but I like how this feels. I actually like how all four of these feel. But yes, I have a whole bunch, I have a literal arsenal of Nerf guns that I've bought for about $1 that are just waiting for a proper paint job. But just wanted to show that off. Back to Dredd, freaking amazing movie. Karl Urban, you can only see it at the beginning where he's putting the mask, the helmet on. And he never removes it after that, and he has the grizzled voice that I was super happy to see in the trailers. And he is teamed up with a beautiful blonde chick. I've seen her in a couple of movies, but I haven't seen her popped up in anything more recently. I don't know why. She's a looker, and she acted very well. And she's this mutant that has telepathic powers. And she doesn't like wearing the helmet because it messes up her telepathy, but Judge Dredd says, well, you know what would mess up your telepathy a lot more would be a bullet through the head. And I was laughing at that because even though Dredd is a badass, he has a sense of humor in him, which I very much enjoy. The whole crux of this thing is that they are trying to they get a call about a crime in peach trees, which is this giant complex in Mega City 1. They're there to investigate, but little do they know that this thing is run by Mama, a drug dealer that was a hooker and then rose through the ranks to become the head mob woman. And she's distributing this new drug called, if I remember right, Speed, which gives everyone this slow-mo, like, high. They see everything in slow motion. And let me tell you, this effect makes for an amazing effect. Every time that I think it's slow-mo, not speed. I don't know, something to do with that. And they're inhaling the thing, and everything looks really artistic, really slow. In a scene, Judge Dredd comes in and, brandishing his lawgiver, and starts shooting people, and everything in slow-mo, and people are getting decimated through the bullets through the cheek and being exploded in slow-mo. It's beautiful. This movie released on 3D, and let me tell you, I wish, because we didn't get it here, I wish we would have been able to see this in 3D and enjoy that wonderful effect in the big screen. This movie, unfortunately, did very poorly. Very, very poorly. I don't know why. This thing is freaking amazing, and I freaking love this movie. So anyway, Judge Dredd and Sanderson, something's the hot blonde chick's name. They get locked in peach trees, and it's basically these two cops trying to survive this onslaught of thugs and people that are not really part of the gang, but because they live there and they're understandably scared from the drug dealers, are kind of roped into trying to get these two cops. Also, this movie gets unfairly compared to The Raid, which also has a similar plot about cops stuck in this apartment complex and having to fight their way out. These movies were actually filmed at the same time, so it's not that Judge Dredd is ripping off The Raid, it just happens that they are kind of similar. But The Raid's a martial arts extravaganza, and Dredd is just an action extravaganza with people getting decimated in slow-mo. I forget the name of the lady that plays Mama, but she was very big on Game of Thrones, and she was Leonidas' wife in 300. She also appeared in The Brothers Grimm. Remember that movie, The Brothers Grimm? Well, she was there. Leah Hitley, I think. She was also in Laid to Rest, that Chrome Skull movie, the first one. So she has a big career. Also popped up in a movie that Zombie Wasitos covered, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. So a very, very standout career. And in this one, she's like a badass. And just, has no qualms about destroying all of peach trees just to get Judge Dredd and the hot blonde chick. Very cute. I don't know what happened to her. Anyway. But yes, amazing movie, amazing action, amazing effects. God damn it, I don't know how this thing bombed. It started getting word of mouth, but by the time people were interested in watching it, it was already out of its way from the theaters. And it found its cult following, like a lot of movies do, in the video market. Which is a friggin' shame. This movie has been talked about doing a sequel for years and years and years. Karl Urban has been trying to push the sequel, but last I looked into it, this thing was dead in the water. The sequel, anyway. But it left us an amazing movie, and Dredd gets 5 out of 5 lawgivers from Professor Macabre. Yes, indeed. Such an amazing movie. A lot of fun. Check it out if you haven't. It's freaking amazing. It's a non-stop action fest, and again, Karl Urban. Good casting, good performance, and damn it, I wish this thing would get a sequel. Such a shame. Such a shame that people didn't appreciate this movie at the time. But unfortunately, that's the kind of thing that happens. Well, I leave you with that. Dredd. Good movie. Stay tuned for other episodes. I still have to post that horror movie haul, which will be a video you will see after this one. And Professor Macabre has an inkling that someone out there wants to take him out. And again, I have to look into that to see who could possibly be the one responsible for this affront to Professor Macabre, horror YouTuber, for the month of April. So I guess we'll figure that out together. But stay tuned for that. And until I see you all again, watch Dredd. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. And I wish you, like always, a good evening.